Hey guys, today I have substantial updates with regards to stimulus checks, stimulus packages, EIDL loan, PPP money, and the interim bill. I'm going to be addressing some key questions that you guys have been asking, so let's just get right into it. What's up everybody, Michael here, welcome back to another video. Before we get started, please be sure to like the video down below, leave a comment with your takeaways, thoughts, or questions that you have on today's video. So guys, let's get right into it and let's talk about what happens if your address has changed since the last time you filed your taxes. If your address has changed, the quickest and fastest way to go about changing it is to go to usps.gov and file for an address change. It only takes a couple minutes, it might cost a couple of dollars, but you go on the site, you input your address change, and you'll get an email confirmation immediately when your address is updated. This way that when the stimulus check is sent to you, it'll be forwarded to your correct address. And it'll be done right through the official government website. Moving on, let's talk about if you're someone who's waiting for paper checks. If you're waiting for your paper stimulus check, you might have to wait a while. Yesterday in an interview with CNN, the Secretary of the Treasury said that the government hasn't even started to send out paper stimulus checks yet, and they're not really planning on doing it right away. They want people to use the online portals. He kept emphasizing people should use the online portals. So, if you're waiting for a paper stimulus check, you might be waiting a while, and it's probably best to just go online, use the Get My Payment tool, use the non-filers tools so you can get your check sooner. And next, I wanted to address a rumor I've been hearing a lot, which is that the stimulus check is taxable income, that you'll have to pay taxes on it. But this isn't true. According to the IRS, the stimulus checks are tax credits, which means you don't have to pay any taxes on them. Whatever you get, you can keep. And then the next rumor, which relates to this, I've been hearing a lot, is that you have to pay back money that you receive from your stimulus check. So for example, let's say you receive more money than you're supposed to. You don't have to pay any of this back as long as it was made out to you. For example, if you were supposed to not get a check, and for some reason you got sent a stimulus check made out to you, directly deposited into your bank account, you don't have to pay it back, you can keep it. Moving on, let's talk about people who receive SSI benefits, SSDI benefits, and VA benefits. The portal for these people may not work. Why is this? Well, according to the IRS, they are currently working with these individual agencies to get these people their checks quickly and securely. So you do not have to file anything if you receive SSI, SSDI, or VA benefits. You don't have to fill out anything. However, they highly encourage you to use the non-filers tool on irs.gov. If you're trying to use the Get My Payment tool and you fall into one of these categories, it won't work. So if you receive these benefits, simply use the non-filers tool if you want to be sure that everything is checked out, you're all good. However, you do not have to in order to receive your check. All these checks will be automatically sent out to these people. However, there is one scenario that you should definitely use the tool online if you are receiving SSI, SSDI, or VA. And this is if you have a child who is 16 years of age or younger. Because if you don't use the non-filers tool, the IRS or the government won't know that you have children that should be getting the $500 additional stimulus check. They just know that you qualify. However, if you want to make sure that you get your funds for each of your children who is under 16 years of age, well then you have to use the non-filers tool. Now let's talk about the timing of these payments. So if you're someone who receives supplemental security income, SSI, then you should be getting your stimulus check within the first 2 weeks of May. So you still have a little bit of time to wait before it's guaranteed that you'll receive your check. However, if you're receiving Social Security disability payments, Social Security retirement payments, railroad retirement benefits, you guys will receive your checks before the end of April. So it's a little less time if you're receiving one of those three options. Finally, I want to go over some errors and issues that people have been having with the Get My Payment tool and the online portal. The first issue is that if you input 0 as your tax refund or amount paid, that you are not able to get into the system. This is a known bug that they are currently working on fixing. So I've been hearing though, if you put $1 or $2 into this box, it should work fine. That's what I've been hearing. I'm not sure about this though. The next issue is that I've been hearing a lot of people are just blocked out of the portal forever. It keeps saying to check back within 24 hours that they are blocked out. This is because that if you use it every 24 hours, even if you wait till 23 hours and 59 minutes, you're probably just blocking yourself out every single day. So you have to make sure to wait at least 25 hours because you don't want to be stuck just blocking yourself out like 5 minutes before it would have refreshed and you would be able to actually get in. So make sure to check every 25 hours so you give it some time to refresh and you're not cutting it too close. The next comment I've been getting a lot of is that people say they are inputting their exact information. It's all correct, but it is not working. The portal is not working. So what I would recommend for these people is to get your tax returns, the physical tax returns, and make sure you're inputting the exact address correctly. A lot of times, your CPAs, even if you fill out your taxes yourself, you might input a slightly different address. For example, if you put, an abbreviation for the word drive instead of the full word drive on your tax return, well, you have to make sure you do that exact thing on the portal. In addition to this, if your CPA or someone else helps you with your taxes and they abbreviate something in your address, we have to make sure to use that exact information as well. And they might abbreviate something different than you would normally abbreviate your address. So you just have to make sure you have your exact tax returns directly in front of you and put that exact address and your exact information on your tax return into the portal. Because if one letter's off, a period's off, if you use the word drive instead of dr dot, it's just not going to work. So make sure you check it and use the exact information and you should be good. The last error message that I've been seeing a lot, this is the most common error message, and this is the status not available. If you are getting the message status not available, this either means one of two things: that you aren't eligible to receive a stimulus check, or that you haven't filed your taxes yet and it hasn't processed yet. So you may have filed, your 2019 taxes, but they may not have processed yet. It could take a while for it to process and update in the system. So if you recently filed them, it still could say status not available because it could take time for the system to process your tax information. So just make sure that if it says status not available, it's either because, you filled out your taxes and the system hasn't processed it, or you're not eligible. With all the information on the stimulus checks and the online portal covered, let's briefly go over the Interim Bill. And this is a bill that's going to provide additional funding for small businesses, hospitals, etc. What this bill proposes is it's going to add additional funding to 4 different areas, which is $300 billion for the PPP program, $50 billion for the EIDL loans, $25 billion for testing, and $75 billion for hospitals. All this money is being proposed and it is currently in the Senate. Today, the Senate is meeting, and if they vote to approve it, well, then tomorrow, the House of Representatives is meeting. And if they approve it then it'll be sent to the president and hopefully approved later in this week. So if you're somebody who's looking to apply for PPP loan or EIDL money, which is the $1,000 grants for each employee you have in your company, if you're looking to get that EIDL money or any of this money, you can start applying hopefully at the end of this week when the new money and funding is approved. With that being said, make sure to get your 2 free stocks valued up to $1,400 when you use my link for Webull, 1 free stock when you sign up for Robinhood. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the video down below, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.